often what I hear a lot is that people don't like going to the gym because they worry people will see them, will be watching them, will be judging them. So finding places that are sort of just in your back garden or just outside somewhere can be perfect, and places that are natural don't close. Some gyms close at 9 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock at night, but you can run anywhere, anytime. You can swing on trees any time you want to, and you can lift things whenever you need to. Lifting can be done anywhere and with practically anything, from your body weight to objects you find. Things that kind of you can fill are ideal because you can change the weight. So milk cartons or jugs are fantastic. This we think is about 7 or 8 kilos when full. So I'm going to leave it about half full so that I can show easily how to do different exercises with it. Rocks are fantastic. They aren't often as easily molded to your hands as these ones. This is a really comfortable shape to lift, but they are often an amalgamation of shapes, which is why lifting perfectly spherical stones is a competition in strongman events, because it's hard to do. Find a rock like this to lift and it's a decent resistance for you, fantastic, but don't rely on them being this shape, but know that you'll get stronger because of it. Why did I do that? To begin with, there are obviously easily replicable exercises you can do that start at the gym, but you can basically kind of like bicep curls for your arms can easily turn into tricep extensions to work the back of your arm. You can go into lateral raises to work on your kind of deltoids. Yeah. For most exercises that are isolation exercises, when you're not talking about things like squats or deadlifts or bench press, the idea is to keep your arms locked if you're not working on your arms. So to have a good solid at rest arm is very important, unless of course you are doing a bicep curl or a tricep extension. Lateral raises are fantastic because they are difficult to do with a very light weight. You can keep the weight quite nice and light, and they're still quite difficult. And a jug like this is fantastic because it also acts and replicates a kettlebell very easily. So you can get sort of compound movements in that will engage your legs, your lower back, and the bum muscles of glutes. Like that. This rock is a better shape because it's a more awkward shape. So it will be harder to lift, but once you find a good handhold, because its weight distribution is quite nice and centered, it means that it makes very good resistance when you're trying to work on your lifting strength. Finding things in a river is fantastically useful. Water resistance itself will strengthen muscles that you didn't know were weak, which is why after you go swimming, you'll walk out and the next day places like everywhere hurts in your body because you incorporate every muscle. So wild water swimming, could not recommend it more. While exercising outside is great fun and can save you money really well, it has to be safe. I mean, safety first with everything. It has to be the paramount concern. So wild swimming is fantastic and you can see some beautiful locations, but you have to make sure that you aren't alone when you do it and it's not too late. If you are going to go later, make sure you're with somebody, and at all times try and be in pairs or in groups, not going alone. Make sure that you're lifting in a way that doesn't hurt but does cause resistance. You have to make sure that when you're standing or when you're picking things up, you're bending properly and standing up straight. In other videos that we'll show how to lift things correctly and how to have your posture and stance, but now it must be something you must research and look into thoroughly. After simple exercises like lifting rocks and lifting bell jars, there are other levels of exercises once you get more intermediate. So things like pull-ups and tricep dips are fantastic ways to use your own body weight as resistance for lifting. exercising outside has to make you more inventive. You have to look for ways to lift to make sure you're training the same muscles that classically you get trained in the gym. It has the added benefit that you will train muscles that won't necessarily get involved when you do normal isolation exercises like regular bicep curls. Things like pull-ups are fantastic, and tricep dips that engage your triceps and the lower, if you go low enough, your pectorals as well. People who exercise outdoors have had proven higher endorphin levels and perform better at mental exercises. It makes you more exploratory. It makes you just have to problem solve in a way that isn't always found in everyday life. It improves your balance as well as your stabilizing, but you must make sure, as with everything, that you have permission to do what you're doing. You can't do this on endangered trees or in areas that are preserved for any reason. But once you find somewhere that works for you, go nuts.
We're not insured yet.
I don't know if I can go higher. I don't know if I can go higher. Ooh.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember where I came from. That was it. Oh, you're filming me.
Tom, how many times have you climbed a tree before?
Maybe once. Maybe. Probably less than that. I was a fat kid.
Which I don't believe now. But...
Thank you. I grew up as a city kid, and so I wasn't blessed with all this beautiful landscape to work in. If you are, there are always going to be urban equivalents of everything you need. Simple things like this can be used for quite effective tricep dips, but they won't. Yeah, that's it. And all you have to do is make sure that you're looking at your surroundings in a way that inspires you to lift and to really fight for the exercise. You have to make it work for you so that you can get the results you deserve. There are a plethora of exercises that are easily manageable in a tiny area of space. So in a front room, in a garden, simple bodyweight exercises. We've shown you tricep dips, but things like press-ups are an easy exercise that focus heavily on the chest and the triceps, and that are great for a nice compound movement that is easy to do. And to add resistance, all you need to do is put things on your back. As with every exercise we've mentioned, always make sure that where you're lifting is safe and secure. You don't want to, especially if you're outside, you want to make sure that the area you're working in is safe for you to push yourself and really get the results you need. When doing press-ups, there are 3 standard variations. There is a flat press-up. This is good for some slight tricep engagement and the kind of middle pectoral muscle on your chest. There is an incline press-up. This is good for your lower pectoral and again tricep work. And there's a decline press-up. If you're working on your press-up power and you can't quite get a full repetition to begin with, it's easy to break it down. Getting onto your knees, you can take some of the strain and make it easier to do. First, standard press-up, and also the variations. This can be great if you're looking to get back into exercise after maybe having not been able to for a while, if you've been pregnant or if you just had a child. It can be great to help you condition yourself and feel more active. Having little children can often mean that a lot of things take a backseat, and so I often hear a lot of people who have had children complain that they can't find time to exercise, when having children can be exercise in itself. Children will always find ways to make things more active and make themselves more energetic, and so basic things like going for dinner and then racing with your children, or finding rope swings and having fun will be exercise. It's all about keeping up your heart rate and keeping them interested and keeping them involved.